As all these ideas and efforts chasing the so-called fresh start for a new, more prosperous life stopped, I focused on my husband and children. I was forced to enroll my sons in distance learning for high school, so my eldest could help in the care of his papa while at home, and my youngest could assist me in the collection and distribution of linen to and from subcontractors in our business. To ensure they had a healthy social life, they joined organizations through the referral of my friends. Alex, my eldest, not only became a competent communicator in Toastmasters, but also organized a new chapter and became its charter president in our hometown, in addition to being an officer in Rotaract International in his earlier years. Alfonso, on the other hand, was also with Rotaract, but was more involved as a sacristan altar boy in church and was busy training new members for the ministry. I was so proud of my sons because I saw them maturing in those early years, helping me with their dad and with our economic state in life. For me to be able to cope with my emotional life, especially the depression I had from juggling care for my husband and coping with monthly bills, I embarked on joining civic organizations myself. I joined the Women's Lions Club International and Seroptimist Club International. In both cases, I was offered the working secretary role for the president of the clubs, which kept my hands quite full. This opened my world to humanitarian services. We organized projects like medical and dental missions, getting doctors and dentists to volunteer their professional services for different communities while we secured sponsors for medications. We fed families from marginalized towns and gave away grocery items during Christmas seasons. We also offered training for livelihood projects, which could empower women and give them supplemental incomes. I found myself not only enjoying helping people, but I realized it was what I wanted to do, not temporarily, but for the long term. That was when I proposed to my brother and some friends that we put up our own NGO. My brother funded a youth hub with programs supplementing the education of public school students. We established a computer library which offered free use of a total of 30 computers to help with students' assignments. After a few years, the computers became obsolete. Smartphones became the trend, and the internet became more affordable. We decided to convert the computer library into a livelihood center training women how to sew using high-speed sewing machines. They earned by providing sewing services for linen products like purses, napkins, and cushion covers, etc., to clients we sourced for the NGO. We were also able to help women in flooded areas do embroideries for exclusive designs which we created. Life working with the Livelihood Center was fun. Creating new designs and manifesting their actual look on practical items gave me a sense of fulfillment and pride. Our sewers and embroiderers were also happy they were recognized for their efforts and creativity. God has shown me a very important insight here. It is best described in the words of Bishop Robert Barron. God is love, and the very ground of being is something like a relationship, and we're designed for that. Love is moving out of oneself, forgetting oneself, and moving into higher and richer forms of existence. That's the way to look at it. I break free of the black hole of my own self-preoccupation, so that I can now immerse myself in the real. So, when I'm talking to you and entering into your world and showing concern for you, my world expands, and a new dimension of being has opened up to me, and now more and more I go out. Truly, Bishop Barron is correct. I discovered that the pity I once had for myself, shutting from the outside world and focusing on the daily grind of just caring day in and day out, added to my despair and depression. But slowly, this changed, and I saw with my own eyes, there were more people out there who had greater problems, submerged in the complexities of their own lives. And this offered the question, who am I to complain about my circumstances when other people have worse situations than I have? However, while all of these were going on in my life, the care for my husband was taking a lot of time away from my growing children who needed to go to college. I too became busy, and that is when my brother helped financially with transferring Marino to a nursing home run by priests and brothers, and with trained caregivers who could take care of him 24/7. Life went on until my youngest sister not only reminded me of the fact that Marino was still married to his first wife, but also pushed me to rectify our marriage, which was not actually valid. Being a Catholic, it was imperative I do something about my circumstance. Consulting all legal remedies, I was advised to file a nullity of marriage, which would make our marriage null and void, due to the fact it was a marriage consummated on top of an already existing marriage. Not having the financial means, I was referred to a kind lawyer who helped me by doing the paperwork and representation in court, while accepting my suggestion that I do all the legwork and gathering of evidences from agencies and from personal circumstances. With judges being shuffled often during that time, it took a while before things started to move steadily with the courts. I was subjected to court trial a few times until the declaration of nullity was approved and became a final order. When my 2 sons transferred their father from the nursing home to their stepsister's home, since she promised to take care of him as soon as she was regularly employed, there was a lot of resistance on the first family's part. But eventually things normalized and everyone adjusted to a routine. I prayed that by giving him back to his first family, a reconciliation could happen and God could give them enough time to plant forgiveness in their hearts for each other. My sons did not abandon their father. In fact, they came to visit him regularly, brought him out to restaurants, and took care of his doctor's visits and medications. For 15 years after his stroke, we closely monitored him, but the last straw came when he contracted sepsis after he got infected in the spot where his wires were cut after his pacemaker was removed. Marino was rushed to the hospital, and this time fought for his life. I was at that particular time assisting in the recovery of my mom in the States from a serious illness. I booked a flight home, leaving my mom in the care of my sister. Marino was already in a comatose state when I arrived at the hospital straight from the airport. I prayed the rosary with him at his bedside, and after a bathroom break, heard his oxygen tank knocking out, indicating he breathed out his last. God did not give me emergencies nor financial problems this time. My sons were both on top of the situation. The bills at the hospital and all the senior and disability benefits from the government, which they could get for their father, were maximized for his use. Contributions from my sisters-in-law and funds from a cooperative I joined years ago supported his wake. Unlike all the challenges I went through, God seemed to have given me a reprieve this time. I did not feel any burden at all. Everything went smoothly until we laid him to rest.